The Match Ball.
Hello, welcome to The Match Ball. Brought to you by Levi Solicitors. They will do you 10% off your legal fees at levisolicitors.co.uk/the square ball. Dan, Michael and Rob with you tonight to analyse that game against Manchester City. I said to you towards the end then, Michael, I've just realised at 82 minutes, I hadn't watched any of that game. As soon as we went 1-0 down, I stopped watching and started writing things down and just going on Twitter. So did anything exciting happen?
Loads of goals.
How many goals?
7 goals.
That's a lot of goals.
It's, Jesus. It was awful. It was horrendous to watch. I wanted it to be over from them missing that really early chance. It was Silva, wasn't it? Put it wide after a couple of minutes or so.
Yeah.
Was it like 5 minutes in or something?
I'd forgotten about that until the end when they reminded us that they'd missed an open goal and had one disallowed for offside, which is nice to remember.
Well, let's go straight into the comments on YouTube because we are live streaming this on YouTube for some brave souls who have opted to join us.
Just go to bed. I wish I could.
I mean, Steve Brown's asking, why am I here? Well, I mean, just generally, or Roy Jones, do we have to relive this again? Sorry. Gillian saying vodka's the answer. Paul says, evening lads, just woke up, was on night shift. What was the score?
See, the problem is we all drive here, so you can't just get absolutely leather, can you?
No.
Otherwise we'll wake up here in the morning and I'll be able to explain. I feel bad anyway because I had my jab this morning and that's sort of kicking in. I've got really hot ears and I feel shit anyway, and now I've watched that.
Got hot ears?
And I feel I've got really hot ears.
Headphones on as well.
Yeah, I know, it's not helping at all. Fucking hell.
How was your jab?
It was fine. It was better than that, to be honest.
Would you rather you were just sat in the chair and they were just repeatedly jabbing a needle into you?
It's a shame they didn't do it into my eyes after watching that. We have to criticise them a lot, don't we, after that?
Well, I mean, the only thing I've written one thing down. Somebody tweeted us before just to say, good luck with the match. Obviously, we had loads of good luck with the match balls there. Someone said, I'd love to see your notes from tonight. Well, here are the notes. I've put one line, which is, what have we learned from tonight? I don't think we've learned anything, have we?
Rob, any ideas?
I don't know if you want to take that one first.
We're not really very good when we don't set up in a way that prevents people like Man City just absolutely tearing us to shreds is the main thing. They just completely took us apart. Every single time they got it, they just ran past us.
It was interesting watching Llorente follow Foden all the way into Man City's half. I often wonder whether if City were to swap where their defenders stand with their attackers, our defenders would just follow their attackers into Man City's half, and like we'd have Dan James and Tyler Roberts at the back looking after City's back four, just unmarked in our own box. But yeah, I didn't really enjoy watching Rodri just stroll through midfield at every opportunity he had. It was the complete opposite of Chelsea, wasn't it? Where we kind of sat back and let them have the ball and were disciplined.
Chelsea are shit, aren't they?
Yeah, it must be.
Only beat us 3-2 with the help of refs and VAR. Just had some suggestions on Twitter about what we could do on this. We could do an unboxing video because they're very popular on Twitter. Sorry, not on Twitter, on YouTube. We could do that. Get more hits than this, wouldn't it? And that's what it's all about these days. Just hoover up those hits, say something controversial, unbox something.
I'm going to blame it on the ref then in that case. He's robbed us there. I'm not sure when, but
that handball. That was the turning point.
We were all over him until that handball went against us, and yeah, I mean, I think there's really no point in talking about it. It just comes across as weird to talk about. I thought it was weird that the ref didn't have another proper look at that, because if he didn't handball it, we would have surely been in on goal.
Have you checked the XG? Because I've just got it in front of me here.
It's not as bad as you'd think, actually.
No, it's not. It's 2.78 to 0.22.
I saw 3.33 to 0.26, but well.
Well, they should have got about 3 goals, and they got 7. So
I mean, that's a misleading figure. They could have had more.
Should they have had more?
Well, I mean, they should, because there was the one just before the first goal. There was the one that Silva basically put an open goal wide. If Foden had have held his run, because he was offside, but he didn't need to be offside for that. He could have stayed on and still put that in.
I've got a nice timeline of us losing interest where 10 minutes, Michael checking the odds, which you did put a bet on Leeds to win after we'd gone the goal behind it.
I put £1 on it, yes.
How much did you win from that?
I didn't win.
You won no pounds?
I won no pounds, yeah. It was 75 to 1.
20 minutes in, Michael asked if we should watch Villa Norwich. 22 minutes, me and you were Googling Niall Huggins and Dan was calculating the value of the 11.
Yeah, well, we'll do a quiz. Let's not give away the game too much. We'll do a quiz. Because we got the challenge of doing propaganda off the back of this, which is what people have been saying about it. Maybe we could just tweak the format for this week because we don't need to hear what Man City fans have got to say about this.
They were that fucking ungrateful, leaving it at 7-0 with 10 minutes to go. Just like, I've seen enough of this.
Beat the traffic.
Ridiculous. What a set of miserable tossers leaving at 7-0 up.
Let's talk about our fans then, because that's the one thing we've got to cling on to out of this.
The marching on together after going 7-0 down in the 80th minute sounded genuinely amazing on the telly, and yeah, they deserve lots and lots of credit, because I did make another note of asking what minute we'd go to the bar if we went to that away day.
What was the question you posed during that game, actually, Michael? It's how many would you concede? What was that?
I thought it was. I was just thinking, because they had the ball so much around our box, I said, how many do you think they would have scored if you were in net for it? And they know you're in net. It's not like you're disguised as Meslier, so they know they can shoot.
I don't think there's any chance of me passing myself off as Meslier.
No, but they know they can shoot every time they get a sight on goal. I mean, Jesus. A sofa score is something we look at quite often for the attacking momentum.
It's like a bar chart, so it'll be upwards for Man City and then downwards for us, won't it? And then the strength of your attacks is the height of the graph.
And basically, the first half, we didn't have any.
No, you're wrong. We did. We had one. Do you know what it was? It was the kickoff.
our XG at halftime was 0.
Jesus.
Yeah.
And the second half was just basically Jack Harrison failing to make the right decision when we did have some very, very small chances. Which would have made 0 difference because we were already 4, 5, 6, 7 down.
Graham Smith has tweeted a few minutes ago saying Bielsa stood out on the touchline as his players all came back in, just staring ahead, waiting for the last of them to come off.
I don't know who should have been twatting who, to be honest, coming off, because the players were terrible, the setup was terrible. Why didn't we change it? I feel like we need Moscow here now to tell us that actually that was a good performance.
Well, it wasn't a good performance. It was absolutely pathetic and abysmal, wasn't it? But what do you expect? Like, when you put our lineup against theirs?
I know, but they don't win every game 7-0, do they? They'll draw some. They could draw a League One team in the FA Cup third round, and they won't win 7-0 because they'd set up in a way that pays some respect to the fact that we've got all of our best players. Well, not all of our best players. We've got a number of our first team players out injured, and they've got a really, really good team and play in a way that they can press really high.
Well, I was going to say they killed us with that.
They can press high, and then when they get the ball, they can also run past their man markers. So that means it just gets completely pulled out of shape.
I mean, we did change it in the first half. We brought Mateusz Klich on because that's all we can do, and then Dallas moves, and then Dallas moved again in the second half.
Yeah, Dallas just moves around the pitch every sub we ever make. Dallas moves. Doesn't it?
It doesn't matter who we change.
It doesn't matter what is going on. Dallas always has to move position. It's just some weird law that's been brought in.
Well, I've run out of notes then. Have you got anything else to add?
We saw Sam Byron make a good tackle at half time.
We did actually, yeah. We just switched over, didn't we, to Norwich, because obviously there was the 15-minute difference in their game. Had it on for about 30 seconds.
Just heard his name, looked up, and he was steaming into someone's ankles.
Yeah, trying to break Tyrone Mings' ankle, so that was fun.
Zach is pointing out in the comments, by the way, Man City did draw a League One team in the Cup. That was Wickham this season, and they only won 6-1.
Pathetic. There you go.
But to be fair, they would have played a load of kids in that as well.
Yeah, but you shouldn't lose 7-0 to a team in the same division.
Well, you can if they're worth us. I mean, I don't want to spoil the surprise when we do the quiz tomorrow instead of propaganda. But they've got a very expensive team.
I'm not having it. We beat them and drew with them last year.
Yeah, but
Does half of Liam Cooper make that much difference because he was sent off in one of them? It felt like the game last year, because we had 10 men, we set up in a more sensible way actually in that as a result and got a result from it. But today it didn't work from the first minute. And I know it's very difficult when you play a certain way all the time to change, but Jesus, sometimes it needs changing. Like when you can see it going wrong every minute of the game, like just change something.
And we can adapt. Like we played differently at Chelsea and we played differently at City last year. And in the second half of last year, when we played these teams, we were different to how we were in the first half of the season. And yeah, that wasn't like that tonight.
No.
We've got the press conference coming up soon, so we should probably hang around long enough to see what's said in that, because I'm fascinated to know what he said. When he's got like 1,000-yard stare on Bielsa like that, there is part of you wonders, would he just walk out? I think we've got so accustomed to him being here, but does he just go, this league's not for me?
He will fall on his sword and just be like, yeah, I can't stay after that. That was too bad.
Has already told TV interviewers that he's never seen a performance from Leeds like that.
I think that's probably fair. I suppose the games away at Scum were a bit like that, albeit they're not as good a side, so we were able to get at them at points. So there were moments of us looking like we might score in those games because they're actually not very good. They've just got some very good players. Oh, God.
There's a question from Paul in the comments saying, why did John Stones get 3 goals at scoring and we still didn't get to him? Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, that was a bit...
fair question.
It reminded me of once I used to play 5-sided goals and I played in net because I could no longer run. And my team had finished playing and the team that came on next were like, our keeper's not setting up, do you fancy another game? Like, we'll sort of pay for you to play and stuff. And I was like, oh yeah, fine, whatever. They were the worst team ever and they just allowed me to be peppered with shots for like the full game. And I sort of left and thought, oh, cheers lads, I'm not surprised your keeper turned up because you don't actually try and stop anything. And I think that's a bit how Meslier probably felt then. He was just like any chance that someone at some point could come. I mean, given it's John Stones, I don't know who his man was meant to be. It was probably like Joe Gellart or someone who should have been marking him. Oh, Christ. What was the worst goal? I mean, actually, I feel bad now for the lessons I've been giving De Bruyne as well about the hard kicking. Because that was really hard, wasn't it? That kick.
It's amazing because I've tweeted out from the Square Ball account, and if you've got anything resembling a sense of humour, you would have understood the joke, which was that this goes to prove that Chelsea is shit. And the number of thick Chelsea fans who have come back and are trying to say, you lost. I was like, that's the joke.
What are the notes I made? Is there anything?
Jamie Shackleton got injured, which was not.
Oh, yeah.
He could have been suspended if he'd got booked, but instead he just got injured.
Yeah,
Firpo did get booked.
Yeah, so the 2 starting full-backs. So I think Stuart Dallas is playing left and right back on Saturday.
Is he doing both?
Yeah, he's going to have to. He's going to have to until we bring on a sub. Then he's going to have to go into midfield, and I don't know who's going left back then. Pascal Strike with his foot in plaster or something.
Think of this as the motivation that they're going to have for Arsenal at the weekend, though. They have so much motivation for it. We'll turn Arsenal over. No fear.
You said we win tonight, you idiot.
Yeah, but I was joking, you fucking idiot.
Well, were you?
Yes. Look, we've got half a squad out, and we've spent about 20 quid on our players versus Man City's 400 billion
The things we've not spent 20 quid. Like you can't lose 7-0 still. I'm not having it. There was enough on the pitch. We've spent enough on that team that shouldn't happen. It is so unacceptable. Like, look at the history books. We don't lose by that many goals. The last time we lost by that many goals was 34?
When you're getting into record defeat territory, there's not.
You can't defend it.
Yeah. I think when we were like 3-0 down in the first half, we were like, maybe we can just go on and laugh a bit because it's what we all expected. But yeah, when it's getting to 7 and it could have been more, it's hard to defend, like you say.
I mean, you can pick up on this one, Rob, actually, because you're the most youthful of the three of us. Rubber Soul 93 is in the comments saying, just come out of the away end. As someone born in 1993, I thought these were meant to be the good times. Why does it have to be so embarrassing to be Leeds? Well, Southampton have been dicked by 9 a couple of times in recent seasons. I find it personally quite hard to get that worked up. Yeah, it is a bit embarrassing because we've conceded 7 goals, but...
see, I'm more annoyed. Yeah. Just because I know we had some good players on the pitch still.
Just a daft knockabout.
Admittedly, no midfield, which I think was quite telling. Like Adam Forshaw trying to do all that. It's a lot of midfield to try and cover in that game for Adam Forshaw. So as good as he has been, it was too much of a job for him, I think. Because, I mean, Tyler Roberts, he didn't do anything. It's hard to criticise any of them in particular. No. I'm just trying to think of the other people who should have been helping out in midfield. Click him on, didn't really make a difference. Did some all right things on the ball when... Actually, did he?
I don't know. I didn't watch it. So Rob, yeah, tell me about it. How does that feel to you then, as the pup in the studio?
I mean, we were chatting about it earlier on one of the podcasts today we recorded, but yeah, this is the Premier League, isn't it? You come up and you're excited about playing City and Chelsea and Scum and Arsenal and Liverpool, and then I don't know because we played them last year and it was fun. But
one year you get dicked, another year Stuart Dallas does what happens last year and you've got 10 men.
Yeah, but it's easy to say that. when it's not just the final whistle of a 7-0 defeat, isn't it? I guess like there's no fun alternative way of looking at this, because either you think, God, we were terrible and that was awful to watch, or you think, well, this is just the Premier League and it's what happens. But that's not really much more comforting either, because you just think, all right, it's rigged and it's crap, basically.
And Bielsa said, we haven't played so badly in these 4 years.
He is right. He is definitely right on that. I can't think of anything so... There was no merit in that today, was there? Like, generally, like the scum defeats, you can say, oh, well, we did cause them problems and we did at least score. Didn't feel like we were going to score today. And it felt like if we had scored, we would probably just angered them into scoring another couple. Because, I mean, they did keep going, didn't they, in fairness to them?
Which was very unfair of them.
It was a bit. You did get the feeling, like, just rein it in a bit. Just like in kids' football, where they're like,
Yeah.
It was a bit FC Gardena against Dave Hockaday's Leeds United, though, at the points, wasn't it? We're like, can we have some of your players?
Yeah.
Can we do some little swaps to
funny.
try and make it fairer?
It was funny because I was on the way in. I was listening to Radio Leeds, who had Andrew Hughes. I think he was doing co-coms tonight because he's from over that way, isn't he? And he grew up a Man City fan. And obviously, he's got the connection to Leeds. And I heard him say about Ederson. There was a point I went, really? But he said Ederson is the best footballer in Manchester City's side. And while it was obviously hyperbole to make a point, he suggested that, I don't know if it was literally, that Ederson could be put into the base of a diamond in any midfield in the Premier League and he could do it because his football skills are that good. And I thought, all right, Hughesy, I get what you're getting at, but stop being silly. Could have put him at the base of the diamond in our midfield tonight, like FC Gardena, where we gave them our keeper, didn't we? Silvestri, who went on their side, just to try and make it a fair contest.
It's hard to think it'd have been any worse.
Gillian, by the way, just following that up, saying "dicked" is the phrase that Andy used on Radio Leeds tonight.
Did he?
Hopefully after the watershed.
Brilliant. Well, from my other notes, I do want to give Grealish a bit of credit for trying to cheat right to the end. Still rolling about.
How many did you tot up? I know you were counting.
I was at one point. He went down like 4 times in the first half hour or something. But yeah, he was about 5 minutes from the end and he was still busy chucking himself to the ground and trying to get people booked. So credit to him. He's keeping his game up the full 90. What else? I just don't think there's anything good. Firpo should have been sent off. That's what we should mention, because he wasn't, and he is suspended anyway. But he should have been sent off for fouling Grealish when Grealish went past him. And much like he did at Brighton, he'd already been booked, and someone ran past him, and he just went, "Oh, I'll have a little bit of shirt," and just grabbed him. And you thought, maybe not. Maybe just given the game's over anyway, try not to get booked and sent off. But
I tweeted saying that the ref kept him on as out of sympathy.
He did basically look at him and went, well, what difference would it make? Like, there's no need. What plus side? Rafinha's not suspended.
That is important.
Because I thought it would be.
But he still could be for Liverpool. So if he gets booked against Arsenal...
but we're not going to win that anyway. Arsenal is the game that we might get something from. I have zero, particularly after that today, I have zero hope against Liverpool.
Sorry, go on.
We were suggesting Rafinha gets subbed off after about half an hour, weren't we, just to protect him from either getting booked or getting injured?
Yeah. I mean, we just hope that games are called off.
This was not a
season ended. Points per game.
Come on, Omicron. No, this was not a problem of individuals or the collective. Nothing worked. We didn't find any surprises in the game. The team we faced was the team we expected to face. The ideas, the solutions I proposed, none of it worked. The responsibility is mine in an absolute manner.
Good. He's right. He has at least watched the game and taken the right thing from it. I'm
now regretting having mentioned Chelsea in that tweet. Sorry, I'm getting peppered with idiots.
What's the Spanish for dicked? Did he use that in particular?
No.
Okay.
Is that all we've got then? Is that a yes?
I think so, yeah. Just want to go to bed.
Okay, shall we? Because it is quite late. I mean, there's no need to carry this bollocks on any longer than we have to.
I mean, we're back in tomorrow afternoon to talk about it again, aren't we?
Nice.
So fill the feedback form in. I'm looking for positives on the feedback form if you're gonna fill that in. If anyone's got any real reaching they want to do. Probably not.
Just looking into the comments to see if there's anything else we haven't.
I mean, we could do an agonising breakdown of all their goals, but I mean,
what's the point?
What would it achieve? They just cut through us endlessly, easily. De Bruyne twatted one in. They scored from a corner as well, didn't they, I think? Was that kiss from a corner?
Yeah, Grealish got a header, which was annoying.
I can't even remember all the goals. There were too many. Their first goal was a bit fortunate, wasn't it? It sort of bounced.
That was, yeah.
Kind of bounced off his legs. There was another one that was the Mahrez one was deflected in. That was lucky.
Some of them needed sort of Benny Hill theme. That one where about 3 players tried to tackle Rodri and he still just walked through. And then Dallas tried to clear it off the line. And
yeah, of course. Dallas clearing
into the net.
Dallas clearing it. That was the first one, wasn't it?
Yeah. So it was a good start. And that was like a minute after they'd missed an open goal through Silva.
Yeah. That was just the universe levelling it up. They were like, no, they should really have scored then. Here they go.
And they did. Many times more. Sorry, I'm just typing responses to idiot Chelsea fans.
Just mute it.
Yeah, you can mute the thread, can't you?
Just do that.
Yeah, I'll
probably
do that.
Easiest.
Yeah, in a minute. Let me just...
Chelsea are not a bad side. They're the champions of Europe.
Yeah, that's the joke.
That's the
joke, yeah. And we still lost the game. That's the point we're laughing at. Making it. I don't have to explain it. You get it, don't you? Just people are stupid, aren't they?
Must be a West London thing.
There's no way to mute it on TweetDeck. I'm gonna have to do it on my phone.
Shut your laptop. That's another way of doing it.
I think if I mute it in Twitter itself, it'll stop it coming up on TweetDeck.
Bloody hell! The abuse Click got the other day. I suggest all of the players just throw their phone out the coach window on the way home because there's not going to be anything nice said. And actually, Click was getting some stick the other day, and I didn't think it was fully deserved. Today, if anyone gets stick, well, I mean, don't do it still. But yeah, we have chalked up a record defeat there. So
no, a joint record. It's not out and out record. Let's have a look. Mute this conversation.
It's a modern day record because
I've muted the conversation. Let's see if that works.
Let's be honest. The 1930s is when Huddersfield were winning stuff, so it doesn't really count.
A post-war record is sort of bad enough, isn't it?
Yeah.
Don't know if it stopped him appearing in TweetDeck. This stopped him on the phone.
Just don't worry about it.
I know TweetDeck is owned by Twitter. Surely they should talk to one another. I might have to delete that just because I'm too tired to be dealing with idiots.
Well, Norwich lost. That was good.
Yeah, they didn't gain any points on us, did they? So that's the important thing. And if Burnley and Watford could draw tomorrow or whatever, then that's fine, isn't it? There's only 1 point. We're only one point worse off than we were before the game. A few goals, admittedly, but
we've had a couple of other 7-0s actually. I've just seen Opta Joe's tweet. We've lost 7-0 against West Ham in 1966 and Arsenal in 1979. So, were any of us alive for those? When were you born, Dan? Did you sneak in?
1978, I was born.
Oh, there you go. So one of us was alive for an equal,
what
an equally heavy defeat.
Which game was that, sorry?
Arsenal 7-0, 1979.
Oh, I remember it well.
Yeah.
Bad day. Another bad day at the office. Well, should we just wrap it up then?
Let's hope that we can take the atmosphere that sounded good in the away end into the Arsenal game, because that was basically about the only nice thing we can say about it, was that we were stayed and sang till the end, and they all pissed off at 7-0 because it was boring.
Dead loud fans, you'll never sing that, will you? You'll never win that trophy.
The Poznan looks shit as well.
It does when there's loads of empty seats, doesn't it? That's it. That's all we've got. That's all the only mud we can sling tonight, isn't it?
But I kind of suspect they're all right with that.
That's just
because they've won 7-0, aren't they?
The notifications have stopped coming actually on TweetDeck, so it might have worked.
Oh, good.
Right. Let's just knock it on the head.
Let's just go.
Right, we'll be back for some propaganda tomorrow. We'll try and make it fun. You know, nobody needs to sit through their fans gloating about that and our fans getting upset about it. Send feedback if you want. We might read it. We might not. I don't know.
Anything else we can do? If you've got anything else we can read.
I have got a quiz. I've put together a quiz for you. Instead of watching that game, I've put together... It's here, look.
Okay.
Put together a quiz for you.
Okay.
So we could do that tomorrow and have a bit of fun with that, shall we?
Funny. Remember that.
Remember it.
Remember that.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, big props to the fans tonight. If you've watched this or listened to it, good on you. Good on you for being with us.
If you've watched that game and then this.
Just need some company.
Okay.
I think in fairness though, we've seen with the grief cast, people love that.
Yeah.
So maybe they'll love this.
Yeah, but we've not seen any little children crying tonight that you could call a miserable little bitch. So
that's true. If you do see one, mind you, kids should be in bed now, shouldn't they? Probably. But
yeah, it's nearly Christmas though. They can stay up late, can't they? Right. Anyway, I'm gonna hit this button, and then a few seconds later, John hit that button, and then we'll just
go.
Call it a draw. All right.
Right.
See you in a bit.
The match ball.